We want to put on a t-shirt and we want to feel the fabric going against our arms. And when that doesn't happen, you're like, well, I failed. I'm an absolute misery. And you go to your parents and you tell them that you've let them down and you go on some kind of pilgrimage to Thailand. So I'm in the board a-hole here, along with Gerald, the fitness mascot, and Stanley, who's just a giraffe, because some people didn't understand why I'd have a pen going for a fitness mascot, so I doubled down on it. I understand, I'm a moron. And today we are talking about everybody's favorite fitness YouTuber, Athlean-X. Now, I want to say this, because, we do a lot of videos where we talk about other people. I want to make it very clear, Athlean-X is super successful. Athlean-X has a load of good advice that if you listen to, you are going to benefit from, and you're going to get big and you get jacked. Maybe. You never know what's going to happen when you go to the fitness palace of love. I understand all this. I respect him. I like him. However, sometimes a video comes along and you see it and you see other people talking about it and people are mentioning it to you and you're like, man, I just need to sit down and we need to put this to bed. And today, it's in reference to this. That's right. In 22 days, you can get bigger arms. Now, I want to make something else clear too. I don't think at any point during this video, Jeff, do you mind if I call you Jeff? Jeff, he's not listening or watching this, so he doesn't care. I'll call you Athlean, Mr. X. I'll call you Mr. X. In this video, Mr. X says that if you follow this training plan, which we're going to get into in just 1 second, at the end of a 22-day schedule, you will have bigger arms. Now, he never actually says how big your arms are going to get. He kind of equates it to when you're wearing a t-shirt, which I'm not right now, because of course it's a fitness video on YouTube. You have to make sure you're in as little clothing as possible. It's just how it works. But then when you put on a t-shirt, he's basically talking about sleeve hugging guns. That's what he's going to talk about. And I totally get that is what we all want, right? We want to put on a t-shirt and we want to feel the fabric going against our arms. And when that doesn't happen, you're like, well, I failed. I'm an absolute misery. And you go to your parents and you tell them that you've let them down and you go on some kind of pilgrimage to Thailand and you take a vow of silence before coming back and trying again. The problem, however, with what he says is that I just don't think it's true. I've been training for a long time. I'm not saying I've got a good physique. I'm not saying I've got a bad physique. That's totally up to, well, you can make up your mind. I don't even care. The reason I go to the gym is because I love it. I love the diet and I love everything to do with it. It makes me feel whole and it allows me to apply the things that I learn in the gym to my real life. And I feel like that's helped me in certain areas of my non-gym life. But at no point, even when I have been dieting properly, I've had personal trainers, I've been doing everything right, I've been the most dedicated person you can imagine. At no point have I ever put on any significant size in 22 days. Because don't forget, 22 days is essentially 3 weeks. That's what it is. 7, 14, 21 plus 1. We're not going to go 3 weeks. There's not going down that path. There's too much other stuff to worry about. So let's just say what he is promoting and we'll take it from there.
All right, so in order to make these noticeable arm gains, you're going to have to do some work with me, okay? But that's where we're going to fit 3 workouts in per week for your biceps or related muscles like the brachialis that I'll get to in a second, and 3 for the triceps. So you can see that we're going to alternate them: biceps, triceps, biceps, triceps, and biceps, triceps. You then get a day off, and of course we come back and we repeat that schedule for week 2.
Right, so he did mention there noticeable arm gains, whatever the hell he said. So he is insinuating that you are going to be able to see that your arms are bigger. And I'm not going to say that this can't happen. You may be a genetic freak, you may be able to do this, but at no point, he put guaranteed in the title. He put get bigger arms in 22 days guaranteed. And as you can see, we'll get the calendar back up here. Now, you've basically got a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday split. On Monday, you're going to measure your arms. I should probably do that, but I'm not going to because I won't like the number and I'll be sad. And then Monday, you're doing biceps. Wednesday, you're doing triceps. Thursday, bicep. Friday, triceps. Saturday, biceps. Sunday, triceps. And you've got 1A, 1B, 1C, because essentially he's got different exercises he wants you to do on these days after you've done your other workouts. So even if you're doing legs, if it happens to be Wednesday, you're going to do some triceps. So let's talk about the positives first. There's some really good exercises in here. This one for your arms, you never really see people doing, so that's good. He talks you through how to do dips on a bench, which at the moment, if you're forced to doing home workouts, you can do it on the edge of a table, so that's also good. And he talks about pulses, which again, isn't really a popular topic when it comes to lifting weights, bodybuilding, and going to the gym. So these are all things that you can take away from it and be like, okay, awesome. This makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe I can incorporate them into my plan. But I just don't see how this is going to work. For starters, we don't mention diet once, right? And I'm sure you could probably see some noticeable gains on your arms. If you'd never lifted weights before and you just carried on eating the same diet as you were, you may be able to put yourself in a state of hypertrophy where it could happen. You may see some progress or you may feel it. Maybe it's not noticeably bigger, but yeah, when you're putting on clothes that you're used to, you may think, oh man, I've got less room in this arm sleeve. I'm living the dream. We've already talked about it. You don't have to go to Thailand. It feels a little bit like, and I'm not going to pretend I don't do this. In fact, we all do it. Let's not pretend otherwise. If you're on YouTube and you're after any kind of success, I don't like using the term clickbait because I think the word clickbait has been tweaked and changed over the years. It doesn't actually mean what it used to mean, and people think it means something else, but whatever. I don't want to talk about that here. You want to get people into your video, but I think as long as you get them in and you're being genuine with what you're saying, then that's all good, as long as people can take something away. But this is one of the only videos I've seen on Athlean-X, and I'm sure there's more. He's got thousands of them. I haven't seen all of them. He's got 11.2 million subscribers. Where I just like, guaranteed? Well, why can't I do this? I would consider myself somewhat of an advanced lifter in terms of my knowledge and what I've trialed and what I've failed at and what I know works for me and what it doesn't. I don't think if I did this, I could put on any, maybe a bit of size on my arms. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it and we'll do a round 2 and I will let you know. It just seems kind of crazy to me.
And this exercise is great for hitting that brachialis and minimizing maybe a little bit of that bicep targeting, because we get into this pronated position and we come up and across our body, keeping that dumbbell close to the body. And what this does is it minimizes some of the bicep contribution by taking away some of the supination.
Again, there's a lot of good information in there. And again, there is a lot of good information in there. It's not like if you watch this video, you come away like, oh, I don't know what's going on. There is some really good details, and you're probably going to learn a lot. But I would try and apply that to what you're already doing. So on your bicep exercise day, maybe you try some of these things that he's doing, or on your triceps day, maybe you have an arm day like a bro, good for you, keep on smashing it. And if you really, really feel like your arms are suffering, or that your delts and your pecs and your back and your legs are bigger than your arms and you're not symmetrical, then sure, there's nothing wrong with including more workload for those muscles. That makes perfect sense, especially if you're training for a competition. Like when I had my PT, I was training for a bodybuilding competition because I wanted to do one, and he would say you need to work on your left delt because I can see it, it's out of proportion to the rest of your body, so you need to work on that. So you are literally, like Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, you are trying to sculpt away, you're trying to look like a statue. So you can absolutely incorporate this and probably try and help your lagging arms. It's just the title, get bigger arms. Oh my gosh. Oh, I did there. Basically, get bigger arms in 22 days and then guaranteed. And I totally get it. People say, oh, Miller just wants to get people to click the video, which is true. And I'm sure, I've never bought one of Jeff Cavaliere's programs, but I'm sure they're pretty good because his science knowledge is top notch. It's just a weird way to try and get people in. There's other videos out there already and you can make your own mind up. But if you're genuinely listening to this and you think you will have bigger arms in 22 days, I'm going to imagine that a higher percentage of people will do it and go, well, I haven't really noticed much. Well, they may be stronger, which will be awesome too. But again, that's not what the video says compared to the few percent, which will be like, oh, well, look at my bicep. I'm now opening cans with it, which some people can do. It's quite the feat.
So to get it back up to the top, I'm permitting you to actually use some lats. Pull with your lats and pull the dumbbell back to the top.
It's like with the dumbbell pullover too. I don't like doing dumbbell pullovers, mostly because the way that I spread out my workout, you do have to pull for your lats. And again, he admits that you have to pull from your lats. But I smash my back on a Tuesday, for example, and then Thursday rolls around and I'm going to work my triceps. I don't necessarily want to engage my back again for another day or two because you can overtrain. That's a real thing. I know nobody believes it, but it's a fact, Jack. You just got to get used to it. So the last thing you want to do is actually get into a state where you're now getting diminishing returns with other muscles in order to try and promote other muscles. What you want is overall balance. You want complete synthesis around the body so everything is doing the right thing. I find it kind of interesting.
And if you look at what we actually did here, guys, instead of taking what maybe was your current weekly workload of, let's say, even 12 sets for biceps and triceps, we've divided it more frequently over the course of 3 different training sessions separated by 48 hours apiece.
I think my last point I want to make on this as well is that it's just tying into this culture of that if you go to the gym, you just want massive biceps and triceps. You see a lot of videos like this, and maybe I've done one, maybe I'll do one in the future. Hopefully I'll try and spin it a bit better. But when most people start going to the gym, they want to have massive arms, right? For all the reasons we've already talked about. And no one ever talks about back or chest or delts or the other muscles you just went through a second ago. Because that was cool, right? They're not your vanity muscles. It's why the joke is gym bros go on a Monday, they do bench press and they do a few biceps and they leave. They get a gym pump and they're done and you never see them again until the next week comes around, they come back and they work chest and arms, or they've probably done that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they never work legs, they never do anything else. But if that's the way you're approaching your gym sessions, I just think you're going to be ultimately disappointed anyway, because again, like we just said, all the muscles work in tandem with another. So you can actually probably get a decent bicep workout just by having a great pull day, like just smashing your back. Now, I would always say you should do bicep exercises by themselves because they feel good and they're fun, for that very reason. You don't have to treat it like this king of the world or queen of the world type of scenario. It's not like, oh, I don't have big biceps and triceps, the world's going to end. No, they will sometimes kind of come along for the ride. And Jeff actually describes them, Mr. X describes them as a stubborn muscle group. But it depends on you. Your biceps may go really quickly. Your triceps may be stubborn, or your latimus dorsi may be stubborn, or maybe your pecs grow quickly. You can't just throw them into one basket. It is a free to watch YouTube channel. You do have to get people in the door. And let's just have a look how this is done compared to some of his other videos. So that went up about a week ago and it's done 700,000 views. And the one that went up before that had done 300,000 views. And the one that went up 2 weeks ago had done 600,000 views. So it worked, right? It worked. More people were interested in that. I just think when you do watch these things, you just got to take it all with a grain of salt, even when it comes to a dude that's an intelligent as Mr. X. So there you go, there's my thoughts. Remember, everything is important when it comes to the gym. Biceps, triceps. We've done the muscle groups like 3 times now. You get what I'm saying. Please do like the video, share the video, subscribe, smash the bell right there, ding ding. That way you know when other videos go live. Or you can watch another video right there, it's on the screen. Twitter at Simon316, Instagram Simon316. Please do cover me, follow me on there. Patreon is patreon.com/Simon316 if you do want to support me financially. YouTube is a hard game. Simon.bigcartel.com for merchandise, but more importantly, damn right work your biceps. Damn right work your triceps. But work everything else as well.